Okay, top 10 safeties list. Always an interesting list to make because obviously when we watch film, we don't really watch the safeties too often, right? We mostly focus on the, what the broadcast shows us. They don't even show us the safeties on a lot of plays. But I figured, hey, I watch enough film, all 22 here, that I could at least give a crack at my top 10 safeties list. Let's just get into it. Only one honorable mention, Brandon Jones. Couldn't quite get him on the list. But yeah, let's start things off with number 10. I'm going Julian Love, who really I thought, was kind of okay for the Giants when he played there. And maybe it was just not being in a good enough situation to really thrive, but has just gotten better and better since he's gone over to Seattle. Was pretty good 2 years ago, and then last year I thought was really good. So yeah, I mean, we'll see if he can continue this upward trajectory. We know that he is not maybe situation proof, although again, he wasn't horrible with the Giants or anything like that, but to me, he's been much better in Seattle. I have a feeling he's going to want to stick there instead of head back or, go to another situation that might not be ideal. Number 9, I am going Antoine Winfield, who I believe I had like number 1 or 2 last year, but ultimately he just wasn't that great last year. Like, that's just what it comes down to, is he was kind of widely considered to be a top 3 safety in football, and then just had a down year. And I don't know how much of that was due to kind of having to overcompensate for how many injuries the Tampa Bay defense had, but I think part of why the defense took a step back last year was because he took a step back, and he was dealing with injuries. That has to be mentioned. So how healthy was he the whole time? I don't know. And maybe he was just banged up and he'll be back to normal next year. As a Tampa Bay fan, I hope so. But, I mean, I have to judge what's on tape. He's coming off a bad year. Hopefully he can rebound. Number 8, I decided to go with Budda Baker, who, kind of interestingly, his career and Winfield's career are a bit tied together because of that year that Budda Baker made the Pro Bowl over Winfield. I believe that was that year I'm talking about 2 years ago. But, Baker's a good player, and I get why people wanted him to be a Pro Bowler that year. He's someone who's really good at both being able to stop the run when he's in those situations, but also really good in coverage. He kind of checks every box, and we've seen that now that he's in a better situation with Arizona getting better around him, we're really getting to see him thrive, and I wouldn't be shocked if he continues to climb these rankings, although again, this is a tough rankings to climb. It just is. Number 7 on the list, I'm going Derwin James, who kind of quietly regained his form last year, I thought. The 2023, he wasn't great. Obviously, he's had all those injuries early on in his career, but I thought last year, one of the real reasons why we saw the Chargers have that jump defensively, there was a lot of reasons, but part of it was just Derwin James kind of was back to being Derwin James again. So, again, hopefully we get more healthy years out of Derwin James, although I will say, and again, I hope I'm not jinxing anything, but he's had 4 straight years of over 900 snaps. So to how things kind of gotten better, he's kind of getting better. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he did have that down 2023 season has to hurt his stock a little, but I don't know. He might be back to being that Derwin James guy again. Number 6 is Justin Reed, a Kansas City Chiefs player who then goes to the Saints. So the Saints love getting former safeties from the Chiefs, it appears, because I guess they do similar things, although now the Saints have a whole new scheme. Dennis Allen's no longer there. But Justin Reed's a player who the Saints just ask so much of their safeties. Safeties stats and numbers are never going to look good for the Saints with the Spagnuolo scheme just because of how it operates. They do the cover 2-man stuff where then the safeties often end up, they blitz, and then the safeties often have to cover wide receivers even one-on-one pretty consistently. That's difficult. But he honestly still was really good in that situation. Again, you look at some metrics, and again, how much do you want to pay attention to metrics? I don't know, but like PFF grades, he was 12th among safeties in PFF grades. For the situation that he was put in, still being able to win that consistently is absurd. Tyrann Mathieu was usually not graded very well because of the fact that he was asked to do so much. Justin Reed being this, that highly graded. And again, just when you watch him, you can see how consistently he's able to win. That's why I put him at 6. Number 5, I'm going to Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch. Now, if you want to critique this, what you can say is he purely a safety? Because he does do a lot of slot corner as well. I guess, fair, but to me, a lot of safeties do a lot of slot corner. Like Antoine Winfield does that. No one's going to call him a slot corner. I think that's it's only because when he was drafted, he was talked about as a slot corner / safety. No, to me, he is a safety who is a great one. I mean, and this guy's a physical player too. You see, like, okay, 6 feet, 200 pounds. But yeah, he can. I mean, sometimes people argue he hits a little too much, but ultimately is a player who can, be a force not just when it comes to coverage, but also run defense. And so because of that, I decided to put him at number 5 on the list. Is kind of that prototypical strong safety who it's okay because they have a very good free safety. Speaking of very good free safeties, Xavier McKenna, another former Giants safety, makes this list. Sorry, Giants fans. But yeah, McKenna coming off a great year. Again, another player who, once he leaves the Giants, has a good season. That seems to be a trend that starts to happen, not just with safeties, but obviously Saquon Barkley. Maybe Daniel Jones is going to play great for the Colts. I don't know. But McKenna is someone who I do think this kind of made sense, and he had some good years with especially his last year with the Giants. He was good. I think he was someone that we all kind of thought, put him in a better situation, he will start to thrive, and that's kind of exactly what happened. There was a point when it looked like he might be an All-Pro. I do think a couple of guys ended up kind of, really giving him competition there. Actually, I forgot. He did make the All-Pro. It looked like he was maybe not going to because there was talks about Kyle Hamilton making it over him, but McKenna was the one who got it. So yeah, was an All-Pro, deserved it, and is in my opinion, the 4th best safety in the league. Number 3, I'm still going Jesse Bates, and I know people will just think I, for whatever reason, have this weird love affair with Jesse Bates, but I just tell you, when I watch the film, I mean, you saw that Steelers game where they just didn't even throw over the middle. The fact that there is really, quite frankly, just a mess of a supporting cast around him defensively, and he's still able to put up the metrics that he puts up, have the consistency that he puts up. And we've talked about how much in this video of, this player wasn't great in a bad situation and has played better once they've gotten in a better situation. Bates isn't in a great situation, and he is playing fantastic. Obviously, 2 years ago, I thought that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. He was that good. He covers so much of that field. He is an umbrella of the defense, so can't quite put him at top 2, and you could argue maybe I should put the All-Pro ahead of him. Okay, fair enough, but Bates, I'm going to keep him at 3. Number 2 is another guy who was an All-Pro 2 years ago and second-team All-Pro this past year, Kyle Hamilton, a player that is the definition of the do-it-all safety. And any player that you are arguing over Kyle Hamilton, you have to first concede that they are worse than Kyle Hamilton at something, because he is the best do-it-all safety. When it comes to run defense, coverage, he could even rush the passer, had 46 pass rush reps and did a good job at those. He is easily, in my opinion, the most complete safety, but personally, I just value coverage more than anything, and there was one safety that I thought was a little better in coverage last year, so I'm going to give that guy the nod for my number 1 spot. It is Kirby Joseph, the Detroit Lions free safety that I talked about earlier. In my opinion, the year that he had, again, talk about being an umbrella for a defense. The range that he has, he still can make tackles and make plays that way, and which with coverage being so important, the way that he can take the ball away. Yeah, in my opinion, he is the best safety in football. You could talk me into Hamilton over him, but, I just value that kind of safety so much that I'm going to keep him at number 1. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.